So we have the man, the myth, the maverick here with us today. Do you know how little of a time a camera's been on you recently? Do you know how many questions I still get about you?
I'm sure.
It's fucking
where's
ridiculous.
James? Well, I've come out of my cave.
Yeah. You're essentially Jesus.
Yeah. And, I mean, to be fair, though, like, well, as we were saying earlier, like, fucking, how many months has it been since we've seen each other?
We went to Miami in February.
So I saw you in January.
Yeah.
That's the last time I saw you.
Yeah.
And I don't think we can blame it on coronavirus. I just think we really dislike each other.
Yeah. I think that we just start swinging.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You know?
Glasses
just,
smash every time.
You know.
We're violent, macho, alpha males.
Oh.
Fucking wish.
But yeah, wish.
I wish I was. I just can't even pretend that I am one.
Yes.
But sorry, back to the.
What were we talking about? Hinge.
Yeah, like.
Okay, so
sex apps. Let's not be. Yeah. Let's not fuck around.
So I like the matures. Ealinggals.com. That one's good, but no, Hinge. I'm certain I put in the wrong settings because every time I'm swiping, so it's not.
What's your age range?
Like 50 to 60.
At least 90 and above, minimum. I like them young.
To be fair, I did actually play around with that a little bit, but just to see what was going on.
Yeah.
But no, Hinge. So forget about even the people that I'm matching with. Just swiping through the people on Hinge.
Yeah.
Like really, really bad. Really, really bad.
It's also that's the one where you match people you've crossed with, right? Or is that part of it?
No, so I think Hinge is, you kind of put little conversation starters in. It's a bit more sort of trying to get the conversation going. But all the people that I'm swiping through, you know, you basically press X and then the next one, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure there's something wrong with their algorithm because
you keep getting guys.
I don't know. Like I thought, is it because I've kind of put atheist and like deal breaker?
Yeah.
You know, and then like basically every sane person.
Tell me you can't put your religion on there.
No, you can put your religion on there,
That's so
but
weird.
I put atheist, and like, is that a deal breaker? Yes, because I think you know I'm whatever, and then I took it off. But
you can say what you are. It's fine.
Yeah.
Buddhist Muslim.
Yeah, Buddhist Muslim. No, I worship the sun. No, and so anyway, so that's Hinge. Bumble is better.
Yeah.
But obviously you're handicapped because so Bumble is they start the conversation. So if you match, it's down to them to start the conversation. Women.
Oh yeah,
just to be clear, women.
And just to be extra clear.
Yeah.
People with vaginas.
Old women. No. So they have to start the conversation, and that's fine, cool. Sometimes you match, and you're like, oh yay, and you're kind of hoping for them to just literally just say the word hi. As soon as they said the word hi, that's fine. They haven't vanished. They're there. You've got time, and you're allowed like a 24-hour extension.
Yeah, I fucking remember being on Bumble. I was on Bumble for like a week.
Yeah, it's fucking shit.
Yeah.
I've had absolutely no success with Bumble.
Yeah.
But Tinder, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. You know.
We should get James on Raya.
Yeah, we should get James on
What's
Raya?
Raya?
Raya's what me and Fiona met on.
Really?
Yeah, so basically Raya is private Tinder. So you pay a monthly fee, or you get invited because you are someone of like note, basically.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't mind paying. I mean, I paid for the Tinder Plus, but to be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed, and I think I might cancel it because you're not allowed to.
Yeah, but you can just do this.
Bump yourself.
Constantly.
Yeah, I know, but it's, I'm very lazy.
Yeah,
and I can't be bothered. You can't bump yourself in the sense that you can't put yourself. You can only bump yourself once a month.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
What do you mean by bump?
So bump, like you push yourself to the front line of who other people can see.
Okay, nice.
But you can only do
you
that.
Bumped yourself?
I don't think so. No. I don't think so.
Because that would be a little cringy. I'm not
It
gonna
would.
lie.
And to be honest, I was a bit concerned as to whether or not people would know that I have sort of the kind of premium account.
Yeah.
You know, that's just pretty lame.
Oh, I had Tinder Plus.
That's
or
right.
Gold, or whatever it's called. And
Yeah,
then-
the
Did you?
Plus.
And then literally when me and
Did you
James,
really?
yeah, then when me and James were at Harrods, it would be this. I'd be eating my lunch and I'd be just feeding this.
We
just
sit on the
That's
steps.
not me. Anyone just listening and not watching, that's not me fapping. That's me just swiping right
Yeah.
constantly. Like,
Well, you've got
because the whole. Okay, so like this is. It sounds gross, but let me apply my like on the spectrum
There is logic to
it, which is that swiping right to everyone, you only get to talk to people who accept you anyway. So why not cast the widest net and then only speak to the people that have accepted you?
Exactly.
Because there's no point in going like, oh, she's nice, because then if she doesn't accept you,
Yeah.
she's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But if she
Doesn't that make
accepts
sense?
you and you don't find her attractive,
Well, then you just
what's the
unmatch.
point?
Then you unmatch or ignore them. Bro, do you know how many girls I ignored on Tinder? Because it was like, what I'd do is, I'd sit on lunch for my hour and just spend like 10, 15 minutes just going crazy with my finger, and then I'd look and see who instantly matched, because obviously I'm unbelievably handsome. There would at least be 400 to 500 girls that would just be like, oh cool, like, he's really hot. Exaggerating a little bit, maybe 300 instead of 4. But it's just one of those things where like, okay, cool. So like for the first like maybe 10, 15 girls, there'd be instant matches because they push those forward on your feed for Tinder. So when you see someone, no matter what, if you do every single one right, the first 10 girls, if you've left it for a day, will probably be a match.
See, I find the best thing to do is to just not swipe at all, because on the Plus, and obviously you haven't been on it for a very long time, but
Maybe yesterday. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Let
So-
me know if we should just end it all right now.
so on Plus you can see who's liked you,
Yeah.
so you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my way is that way. Before Plus there was Gold.
Yeah,
Before I met you, there
I
was
don't know
Gold.
what it's called, but
Gold,
it's called
gold is
something.
gold
I pay.
is unlimited super likes and unlimited swipes.
No, I don't have
basically,
I don't have
summarised.
unlimited super likes. I get 5 super likes a day, which, by the way, are valuable because really they get flattered when you super like them,
Yeah, they do.
and it just increases your chances.
Yeah.
You know, if you like someone and then a girl swipes you back, and
Or
they
even if
go,
you're just trying to,
"Oh,
like,
look,
you know,
we matched."
Christian puss.
Yeah, because I know what girls are like. They're like, "Oh, we've just matched. Oh, but how come he hasn't super liked me?"
Really?
You know?
No, to be
I
honest,
just know
I'm
what
not
they're
gonna lie.
like.
In my experience, and I don't know if you had the same thing, which is that like, I don't know what percentage, or I don't want to say majority. I kind of want to say majority to exaggerate my point, but
James,
the
Oh,
girls,
I'm not pouring it.
the girls who would sometimes make a joke. No, pour away. Be loud.
Should we pop it in the fridge though? Because it's starting to get back. to
Yeah,
room temperature.
absolutely.
Just because, by the way,
Thank you.
for those of you who don't live in the UK, it is currently the hottest day of the year. I'm currently covered. You won't know this, but I'm currently covered in cornstarch powder. I just chucked it on me this morning. I'm
Just
basically powdered up.
sellotape a tissue layer.
It's
underneath.
created a bit of a paste. But
Okay, nice. Fuck's sake.
have,
Yeah,
you
it's
have you
fucking
guys
hot
got
today.
aircon in here?
Fuck no. We like to torture our guests. This is the studio, and when I say studio, I mean
you're literally.
I
This
mean
is literally
where I
roasting.
live.
You're literally roasting me.
physically, yeah. Physically roasting people.
Physically.
I'd have the windows open, but it would fuck the audio, you know? We like
Yeah.
good quality here.
Mm.
Unlike the videos of our YouTube. We like good quality on the audio, but that's it.
Is the audio on YouTube not very good?
No, it was previously on my videos terrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We're using this permanently
Okay,
now.
good.
Because it's just banging. And I want, to be honest, if this picks up and we start getting more and more people over, I do want 2 so you can have one. And it's just nice to manoeuvre it.
And
then
like
you-
proper like.
No, fuck that shit, because like those levels are to know what you sound like. And even someone like fucking my god of podcasting, Joe Rogan, even him who wears them all the time, I understand that he wants to hear how loud he's speaking, whatever, but I don't think he's the kind of person in general, unless we were really drunk and we're a bottle deep, unless we were like 3 or 4 bottles deep, I don't think the volume would be so crazy that we couldn't even adjust it post-production.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the headphones things it's a bit of a gimmick because as good as it is to hear your own voice and make sure you're clear, and you know, like for him it's different because he gets millions of views and he has a million fucking dollar business from his podcast.
Hasn't he just signed something with Spotify?
Yeah. What's crazy is, so I listen to like all his friends religiously, and there's a really great podcast called The Fighter and the Kid, which is a ex-MMA fighter who's now a comedian called Brendan Schaub, and a comedian and actor called Brian Callen. And like one's very young and one's a bit older, and they've got a very, very good dynamic, and they're just very good friends, and it's just, they're both fucking hilarious. But they very nicely sway between like comedy and like serious.
Okay.
And just the structure of their podcast is really cool. But basically,
It's not on his channel, is it?
who?
Joe Rogan's.
No, his is
Okay.
only his.
Okay.
They're just friends, and but they have a very big podcast themselves. You know, like their best episode might have got like a particularly funny episode, or with someone famous, might have got like 1 million or 2 million views, which is, you know,
I got to say, like, I think the podcasts have been amazing.
yeah.
And they've obviously, I mean, they've been around for ages, but they've really, really kind of got big. It goes without saying, but they are amazing.
Yeah, it's great. Well, it's conversation.
And there's like zero kind of after effort really involved.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
It's just
And there's also zero
you talk,
bullshit
there's
as
no
well, 'cause it's
fucking
conversation.
editing. Exactly.
It's conversation.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's great. So the reported number is 100 million, and the reason I brought those two up is because they were just like, oh yeah, 100 million. Everyone's reporting this. Yeah, he told us the number. We said you better be buying us a boat and a house because it's way more.
Really.
So I think way more for me means at least double. So I kind of want to say anywhere from $2 to $250 million, and I also wouldn't be surprised if it was 3.
The thing is it
To be
depends
completely
on
honest.
how many years they signed.
Well, and also the main thing that, well, it's the main reason why he did it, because he gives over zero creative control. It's to only post his exclusively on their platform, and that's it. There's no oh, we can get involved here, we can control that. It's literally you just have to post your content on our platform, and that's it. Which is amazing.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate deal.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
you're so independently successful, which is we're going to pay you an insane amount of money to only be on our platform, and that's the deal. That's it. You can only post on our platform, and that's it. And he's moving over in soon, I think. The podcast.
End of the year.
No. He's moving the podcast over soon,
But
and
it'll
then
be exclusive by the end of the year.
and then also the Spotify's doing video. So video podcasts are going to be available for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's what
I think.
was thinking,
They're going to do the launch with him in September.
Okay. I didn't know that they were doing video.
Yeah, they're doing
And
video
it's
as well. Yeah.
literally just on the app.
So yeah, he's going to be exclusively on them. Although, this is the greatest thing about this deal is that he's, I think, still going to be able to post. He's still going to post like highlights and things about it on YouTube.
The highlights are good. I generally, if I do watch Joe Rogan, I generally watch the highlights because I find sometimes I just don't have time to watch.
How dare you ill speak of him?
But I do love
James,
him.
we all know you're doing nothing in your house. I don't know what you're saying.
I know,
but let's be real.
Masturbating doesn't count as being
saying we don't
busy.
have time.
Yeah, bro. Let's be realistic. Like, it's so funny when people like ask me if I'm busy. I don't think I've ever been busy in my life.
Well, this is the thing.
I don't
No,
think
but hold
I've
on. No,
ever
but
been
hold on.
busy in my
You're
life.
gonna
this
cop
is-
out all of our excuses to everything.
Shut the fuck up.
This is-
I
no, but
mean,
this is
I'm
the
really
thing.
busy all the time. I'm super famous. Don't worry about it.
So for those of you who are listening, Mum. So
Yeah, the 3 people that we've got listening right now.
I intended to turn up quite early today,
Yeah.
and I don't know why. I just had this idea in my head that I could just turn up.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Okay, but you were obviously working, so I had to come back later. In my head, I'm just thinking like, well, what the fuck could you possibly be doing?
The
Yeah.
answer is nothing.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's that. It's like without fucking pissing my manager off.
No, but
To be completely real
Yeah.
about my work environment. Obviously, it's changed. It's changed for everyone. But like, fortunately, the company that I work for is very, very good with like mental health and this sort of thing. And like, no one is expected to be online on our messaging service every second of the day. So fortunately, it is. You know, like I can't put a time frame to it, but you check in on stuff. periodically, as opposed to like being in the office
Yeah.
is different because you are on it constantly.
Yeah.
You can break for coffees and you've got meetings and
But
stuff.
at the end of
like,
the day, if you needed, you needed.
yeah, exactly. And like in the office, you're there instantly and whatever,
Yeah.
which, you know, has arguments for and against productivity. And, you know, it'd be interesting to see what happens with our company about who needs to go back. Because, for example, like with my targets at work, I so far have been incredibly successful
Really?
over the 3-4 period months.
Do you find you work better here or in the office?
I find I work better in the office simply because trying to, physically, because of the special circumstances we're under, you can't pursue creative projects or outer projects at the moment because of coronavirus and everything happening. So like trying to push for partnerships or deals or brands and like you can, but like realistically, everything takes X amount of times longer and no one's really willing to put the money towards anything because, you know, like it's not a great time for businesses right now, obviously. So like trying to do anything like that and like the really fun ways you can input into your company and you can do anything creative into your company is kind of like lacking at the moment. So you can't do that aspect. And obviously, don't get me wrong, like even sometimes at the office you might be bored if you've got a quiet day. You are there to work and you are there solely focused on work. Whereas like a quiet day working from home, like it's weird. I don't know if this is because the whole period is, you know, you're going to be off. So I don't know if I'm lethargic in some ways because I know that, okay, this whole time I'm going to be off. And I know that businesses are affected, so I don't want to push this. However, it could just be that, like, working from home is like, oh, why would I do that when I'm just, like, sat on my sofa? Why would I do this when I'm at home? You can't know. Fortunately, at the moment, the difference is you couldn't know either way because you can't do it physically. You know, and it is tougher dealing with clients. I feel that like because everyone's working at home in our company, just everything's a little bit slower. So I feel like if everyone was in an office, everything would just be that tiny bit more efficient, which would, you know, like if you talk in the long haul and we talk about stats instead of like day to day, it makes no difference realistically. But the stats overall would be crazy.
Statistics say that telecommuting is much more efficient because you don't have the distractions in an office.
Yeah, well, see, this is the thing. Like, there's a study which is the most current study about efficiency working from home. Is that apparently, no, in fact, do you know what the best one is? Is that I know that in the UK and a few other countries, they're looking at in the future and in the near future, I say like 10, 20 years, making the work week 4 days.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing that already in, I don't know, whatever country they're doing.
Yeah. And the efficiency is 40% more, and I completely get that. But at the same
longer
time,
days? Is it longer days?
No. It's just
or is
4
it
days.
Same hours.
Just 4 days. Yeah.
Okay.
And I get it because like for most office people who are in a cubicle, Friday's a cop out. Friday is you finish off anything for the week and ignore everything else, and you from 2 p.m. no one gives a fuck. Like from my experience and from a lot of people that I'm speaking to, after lunch you're kind of just like lethargic. Everyone's waiting for beers in the office and whatever.
Yeah.
However, I think it's the same thing for work from home, but you know, like we have philosophized on this and spoken about this so much about, and I mean, me and Fiona have done it as well. It's like one of my least favorite roles in a company is middle management, and I think that a lot of these stats you've got to look to where they come from, and you know, like what is efficiency and what is not doing stuff and doing stuff. You know, like I would happily, if we weren't in Corona, but I had to permanently work from home, I would pursue creative projects. Yeah. And obviously, because you'd immediately get to go out. And the other thing is that, like,
I think in this period you would have created a number of contacts and connections.
Yeah, absolutely.
And events,
you'd be a crazy amount of stuff. But like, I think a big part of it is, I don't know how to describe this effect, but it's if you're in an office, for example, like I sit next to my manager, so if she sees me doing nothing, that's not. Okay, so say, for example, you get a point for working hard and working on something, and that's positive. And what it should be is there's a point for neutral, which is where everything's kind of, especially in my business, especially like you're coasting, there's an element of portfolio management to it. and then there's negative where you're being slow on something and affecting someone else's work, or you're slowing down a process. That's negative. I feel like in the office, when someone's next to you, there is an energy about the atmosphere that you need to be doing something at all times, and if you're not, then you're doing something bad.
Yeah.
Whereas at home, you can't police or manage neutral time, so that is taken out of the equation, even though it still happens. So I feel like there's 3 stages of working from home that you wouldn't affect you mentally, or you're like for anyone who's listening, my business or any other business that's working from home right now, if you think that your managers, people above you or under you, are working to the same capacity and on all watching TV, listening to music, cooking at the same time, taking extra breaks, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 breaks throughout the day, going for walks and exercising when in the middle of the day they couldn't do that because of there being an office. If you think they're not doing that, you're fucking mental and you're lying to yourself. So for me, it's one of those things where like and don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming managers for anything, because it's a waterfall of responsibility, and I get it that if like we have this all the time where one time a manager will walk past something that they think is wrong and they'll mention it to another manager, and this it's like, well, hang on a minute, we've done this today, this isn't this, and you can never see that.
Do you get that at your company?
No, fortunately, but you can't see.
Did you get that in your own company?
Yes. I don't work for them anymore. In Harrods, I got that like shit. It was horrible.
Let's talk about your life at Harrods together.
We can, and I really wanted to touch on this because I was going for one of my evening walks, and that's when I listened to your podcast about how we met.
Yeah,
and it was beautiful.
Was I accurate?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I remember it as well. I was wearing my Tom Brown loafers.
Yeah, you were in a white shirt.
Brogues even, sorry.
Yeah, you were in a white shirt. I think you were in all Tom Brown that day. Very vividly remember what you're wearing, and I thought you were a manager. Which is weird, because now I get to know you better. I see you as a 10-year-old. So.
Yeah, like your retarded...
Yeah, like 10-year-old like sibling,
Yeah.
Who's got an insane amount of problems, but it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, I remember that day very well, because obviously, you touched on it before, is that obviously you do notice those sort of little details, like Tom Brown, whatever, because you're in an environment where everyone else doesn't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
And so
in fact,
when you
try and give your overarching statement about Harrods and how you felt about it, because you're coming from the position of someone who actually gives a fuck about retail. Me and you were insanely passionate about buying and fashion, and just tell people about how you felt about Harrods.
Sure.
Wait, James, sorry. Why did you was Harrods your first job? Why did you start working at Harrods?
Give a bit of your history. I also need to pee real bad, so give your history while I escape. Give us your humble beginnings.
Yeah.
And then I'll pee out of my average size pee, and then
less than average. Go on.
Okay.
Bottles there.
Yeah, go for it.
So it wasn't actually my first job. My first job was I was a tennis coach for kids. I wasn't very good, but fuck it. And then I was really, really bad with the whole uni situation.
Did you go to uni?
No, I didn't go to uni, and it was clear that I was never going to go to uni because I missed the deadline to apply. I never, ever really kind of bothered to go and look at universities. I just knew I wasn't going to go, and my family had to slowly accept that. I was.
Were your parents mad?
My dad didn't particularly care because he'd never gone to university, and actually no one in my family had at that point gone to university. No.
Your sister went to university?
My sister, and then obviously a couple of years later, my sister went to university. So yeah, I mean, it's not like I would have been the first family member to have never bothered to go to uni.
Right.
And my dad was very much, from that kind of mindset of, doesn't matter if you go to university or not, whatever. Whereas my mum, I think, she was relatively, she would have preferred I'd gone to uni, because I think, that is the reality and the world that we have lived in, is that you're kind of expected to go to university, get a higher education, and then whatever.
Yeah.
But no, I had a very good friend of mine who now lives in New York, but at the time went to my school and helped me get a job at Harrods. And I refused to leave for a while. No, I was very loyal. But no, I mean, my
Well, I think it's not even loyal. I think that very early on, the knowledge that we had about, not to sound like arrogant, like how it's not arrogance. It comes from us knowing how obsessed we are with fashion, and it's so. One of the toughest things, and I think you completely agree, that me and you found was that, like, I moved to Derby to London with the job at Harrods, and like meeting someone like James, who is completely obsessed with like fashion like I am, and who fueled my passion to be where it is now and to be in the job that I'm in. James has been a big factor in my life, and for that to be our biggest thing, and for us to know pretty much everything, and not like tailoring or streetwear, and like like we're not still the biggest streetwear heads, but we still know everything, or not everything, but we know more than the average, more than most of the average, more than most of the sneakerheads about a wide field about fashion in general, and being passionate about that. It is super difficult to be in a place like Harrods, where there is so much potential for them to be the driving force for trends and fashion, yet they're so safe and protective, and there's so much red tape because of the name and how they're perceived. It was really frustrating to be on the shop floor and see people in the buying office who, not all of them, because we've got some good friends in there. Shout out to Matt, and not anymore, but shout out to Matt when we were there.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
does Matt not work there?
he died a couple of months ago.
Yeah. No, he's at Matches now.
No, he's not.
I thought he's back at Matches.
No.
Are you sure?
He's at... I'm going to pronounce it badly. Frescobal... Oh, let me just Google it.
Okay, I have no idea what Matt's doing. Matt, what the
Mate,
fuck are you doing?
You
Message
need to
me.
touch base with your mates.
I need to speak. Honestly, I thought the other day, I was like, I need to message Matt.
It's so funny that all of you think that I keep Vincenzo from you guys. But then when I...
No, his
will
PC...
not hang out with you.
His PC keeps Enzo
Yeah, I'm a
from
nerd.
us.
Yeah.
What's the game where it's like massive football with cars?
Oh, Rocket League.
Yeah. Is that what
I'm
you
a
still
Rocket
play
League
that?
stud. I played it today.
Okay.
I'm into poker at the moment, though. I've told you.
No, but
I'm so good at poker. It's a disgrace.
I've never, ever really kind of
I love
practice poker.
I love poker.
I'm just going to very quickly get up that brand.
Yeah. Tell
Because
me
I
when you
feel
can
really
remember.
bad. It's called Frescobol Carioca, and it's basically like a very, very premium luxury kind of, I want to say, beach swimwear line.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know?
Cool, yeah, I need to be.
But yeah.
Wait, you went to Matches before that, right?
No, he was before Harrods. He went from Harrods to...
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, I think Matt's been telling
Seriously,
me lies.
just message your friends.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, the frustration of being on the shop floor, of being passionate to that level, and knowing what you know about trends and forecasting trends, and just seeing what is in pop culture the thing, trying to comprehend people who are in a job that you want, who see it as just a job, and them looking at a spreadsheet when they go to a showroom was just like wild for me. It was insane to just be like, I've told you this story, and I've also told you this story, but like, I won't name any names, because to be fair,
all the names.
Also to be fair, whoever wants to do whatever job for any money, who clearly doesn't give a fuck, is also fine. Like, if you're doing something for the money, I'm not knocking anyone, but to be in a showroom of one of my beloved brands that I love,
God, yeah,
and to walk around a collection with one of the buyers who you desperately want their job and you respect that job amazingly, and to be so passionate about something, to see a show, go to the showroom afterwards, big spectacle, it's amazing. How you lose your love for it is beyond me. And to see all these insane pieces of clothing, to not be able to instantly go, cool, these are the biggest commercial sellers. So for example, in Off-White, if you're into fashion and you can't pick out Off-White's biggest commercial sellers, aka the graphic t-shirts, if you can't figure that out, one, you shouldn't be in that job. Two, another reason why you shouldn't be in that job is to sit down after you've seen this beautiful collection, be talking about it enthusiastically, whatever, blah, blah, and then when you get down to brass tacks of letting the brand know what you're kind of like into buying and what, giving them an idea of what you're trying to go into, because if anyone doesn't know, the buying process is quite complicated sometimes, depending on the brand, in that there's restrictions on buying certain pieces with other certain pieces, where your region is, where your store is, what brand you are, like negotiation is a wide spectrum. So if you're quite established, you can get a lot more than other people, and there's a lot of different variations and factors to it. Sorry, variables and factors to it. To sit down with someone who's paying way more than you, who gets to sit in the office and control what you sell to the people, with a big brand behind you like Harrods, to then say this exact sentence, which was, well, jumpers did well last season, so let's buy some more jumpers, was like the most ludicrous, demoralizing sentence I'd ever heard. I get also that if I was in their job, the magic of it all would be toned down for me. But to be like fucking 22, 23, and like someone's got my dream job, and then they go, well, the spreadsheet says we sold 400 jumpers last season, so I guess we better buy some jumpers. It's like, so the jumpers can be the exact same every season. It's like the only logical thing to that is that, yeah, they might have sold well in the winter season because it's colder. And just to be around people who... The great thing about showrooms is that the people who are in the showrooms, not all of them, again, I'm not trying to broad stroke, but I'd probably say even 80% of the people in the showrooms of solo brands who work for a solo brand care. People in the showrooms, because they have to sell. And if you work for a solo brand, you've got to... Most of them have to like the brand. Most of the staff have to like the brand. So to be in a showroom where people actually care about the brand, and to be sat with one person who's looking at numbers is difficult. Let alone to be in a job that's way under them, and then you're looking at them going, I could very easily do what you do. And don't get me wrong, buying's not all glamour. It's not all you go to Paris, you go to Milan, blah, 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 whatever. There is a lot of day-to-day admin that you need to be able to do, and I understand that. But that doesn't make those shorter times any less critical than they are. Because you can say that 95% of the job is admin, and you wouldn't be wrong. But that doesn't mean that 95% is 95% of the money you make. I'd say the 5% of what buyers do in Harrods, because it's structured differently, they don't have merchandisers, because they have to do a lot more admin than usual.
They do have... That's the hilarious thing. They actually do have merchandisers.
Wait, what? Really?
Where the fuck are they?
That's mental. Okay.
Yeah. That is literally... That is the hilarious irony, is they actually do have merchandisers.
That's wild.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, that 5% of picking clothes makes 95% of your business.
It's to make it or break it, yeah.
Yeah, because the 95% of work that you're doing is crowd control from people who are running out of sizes from the shop floor and client requests to try and maximize sales on the picks you've done already. But 95% of it is the picks you've done already. It's the clothes you buy. So to not be a product person and be a numbers person in that game is insane.
I mean, every single company, whether you're a massive retail company like Harrods or Saks, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Every business has got their own version of what a buyer is. And it just so happens that in Harrods, a lot of it also is very closely intertwined with merchandising.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant. Ultimately, it's a make it or break it when you go into that showroom and you've decided what you're going to be spending your money on and the depth that you're going to be putting into the product.
Yeah.
It is crucial that when you go into that showroom, or even when you're doing reorders throughout the season, you've got to be... Well, first of all, you've got to...
Well, you've got to have that eye in the beginning to get to the reorders.
You've literally got to be the consumer.
That needs to be reordered. Yeah.
You've got to be a consumer. You've got to yourself kind of be excited about what's going to... you can't wait to get that yourself or whatever. So it doesn't really matter what the business structure is. Ultimately, if you're in the showroom, you've got to really know and care and be the consumer yourself, which I just find remarkable. I find remarkable that you can go into somewhere like Acne, and not be absolutely obsessed with what's on the rails.
Yeah.
And focus more time and effort on your worthless pieces of paper.
Yeah, I know.
And one other anecdote, because this is absolutely phenomenal, and this is very recent. Someone who no longer works at Harrods was doing a little kind of pass-through Yoji just to see if they were going to pick up the brand.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fine, let's just see, if we're going to pick up Yoji. For them to then turn round to the buyer at that point and say, never ever make me go through that ever again. You are the director of Harrods menswear buying.
Yeah.
You turn around to your buyer and say, never let me go through that again.
Yeah.
And you're the director.
Yeah. I mean, we're pretty, fucking opinionated.
That is horrendous.
Yeah.
Horrendous.
What's your dream job? If you could manufacture any job, any company, any made-up company, what would you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, probably... I think in the past I would probably have said be a buyer on a big scale. But I think now it's like, I think as you get older, you kind of just think, well, I want to do it. I want to slice the pie.
Yeah.
I want to make it.
I think
But you want to make your own?
Yeah, I probably would want to make my own stuff.
Would it be for short people?
It would be for midgets only, and I would
call brutal today.
No, but it's valuable because I would call my brand, and I don't know if I've said this to you.
Small midget James.
Yes, and in French, I would call it n'importe quoi.
Okay.
Which is, if you would say n'importe quoi, you would say whatever. It's a nothing. He's saying n'importe quoi. He's saying rubbish, bullshit, whatever. Yeah. But actually, if you spell it in a certain way, it is literally na midget porte quoi. Where's what? Midget. Where's what?
Nice.
I love that.
Nice. Perfect for you.
So yeah, perfect for me.
Amazing.
I need to buy that domain.
You're being so fucking rude at the moment.
No,
do you want me to tell the story?
They're gone.
Bro, fucking hell. So we're at one of her friends called Ewan's the other day, right? He's got two friends around we've never met before, yeah?
How long is this fucking thing? We have to do like a part 1 to 5.
No, bro, I am the new Joe Rogan. This can be going, since we're going for 40 minutes so far.
Yeah, perfect. We're here for until 4 a.m.
Yeah, mate, this can be going for 2 or 3 hours. I don't give a shit.
We haven't even done the tailoring thing yet.
So imagine this woman, to quickly break on our fashion speak. No, shut your fucking mouth. All right, listen to this.
I will always be on your side.
Okay, listen to this. We go into one of her friends' houses. 2 people there, never met before, being cordial, whatever. Fiona, to her credit, I want to give her some preface the story. Fiona is pretty shy overall, and recently, and over the past year, she's making a conscious effort, which I've felt and seen, to be more confident in public. So I'm not knocking her for talking to these people more. However, I've kind of noticed that like she goes instantly a bit too far, so she's a bit too familiar. So obviously it's like everything. I have this big thing at the moment where I'm talking about rubber band theory, where like things like before it settles in the middle. So it goes like this, and then you settle in the middle. She's just out of here at the moment, and like one of the last names of the person there.
Hold on.
No, shut your fucking mouth. Shut up.
No.
Let me explain. Let me say my piece, and then you can defend yourself. This is how this works, okay? The last name of this person, which to be fair is a pretty dumb last name, is Slingsby. Or is it Slingsbury?
Yeah.
Slingsby. He had a pretty funny last name. She immediately, without properly speaking to this man, to his face, told him that was the dumbest name she'd ever heard. She thought it was made up. She would refuse to believe it was his real name. And I'm wrong, it's kind of funny, but it's not like the most ridiculous. Slingsby's not like the most ridiculous name you've ever heard. She went in on this guy that she doesn't know for like 10 minutes on his name. And like, cool, even if she was right and he had the most ridiculous name, that doesn't mean you can go in on this guy's name. You need to fucking
but
Okay.
I empathise with that completely.
No, because
completely
behind closed doors.
Hold on,
That's
I'm
fine.
coming closer to the microphone because you really need to understand me here. Here's the thing. I don't want to be in the frame. We were talking about names.
Yeah.
We were talking about... So this other guy, his name's fucking Charlie, but he goes by Reg. He goes by Reg.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm like, that's dumb. And then, so we're talking about...
Oh, yeah, because being called Reg is dumb. Yeah.
Reg, R-E-G. When your name's Charlie,
Yeah,
how do you get
Oh, it's
there?
fair.
How does that-
He has. Don't even talk
Okay.
about. Yeah, it's not
So
worth
anyway,
explaining that story.
So he goes. So then this other guy's like, "Oh yeah, well my name's Slingsby," or like somebody calls him Slingsby, or I don't even fucking know. So I'm like,
yeah, his nickname is Slingsby, and she thought that was a made-up name.
and I was like, "Wait, so your name's Slingsby?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Birth given like on your birth certificate, Slingsby," and he was like, "No, not really."
No, he said yes because that's his last name, and then
So he
she
goes, yes.
couldn't differentiate
So I was like,
the
wait,
surname
what?
and a nickname.
So I
because
was
obviously
like,
in England we give. I could call you Moran, and you wouldn't bat an eyelid.
so then I'm like confused because to my defense in LA, like people will call themselves like young Big Toe. And they just walk around and they're like, "Nice to meet you, I'm Young Big Toe." And I'm like, "That's not your name." And he's like, "Well, yes, it is." And I'm like, "No, that is not what your mother pushed you out to be."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, my name's Kyle."
However, no.
So I'm
His name's not Kyle. What are you talking about?
No. I'm
she's
giving
giving
my
a-
example.
Okay.
Follow along.
Yeah. All right, Karen.
He has one brain cell left and it just couldn't.
Keep going.
So
We share it.
So then he's like, Slingsby, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, that's just not it.
Yeah, so after she
But
found out
keep in mind, these guys are very, very high. Like, they had smoked so much weed before.
But also...
So they're like,
no,
up in
that's not an
Jupiter.
excuse.
But this guy's looking at me like this.
Yeah, okay,
I'm
no.
60.
He was also getting defensive, which she didn't recognise.
When was this?
This
This
was
was
like
a few days ago.
literally
He
yesterday.
was getting defensive. Yeah, he was getting defensive. So, like, imagine, like, you thought that he had a dumb nickname, and then you find out it's his actual name, and then you double down on insults.
That's not true.
That's exactly what you did.
No, he said it's my last name, and I was like, oh, okay,
Oh yeah, cool.
That's cool.
Shit, last name, mate.
No, I
It's
said that's
essentially-
cool.
No, it's not.
No.
That is not your finish.
No,
that was
I
not your
have-
finishing
no.
thought.
This is why.
So why did he get defensive? Tell me why he got defensive.
Oh, did he get defensive?
No,
Yes, he did.
Oh, did he?
He did.
No, he
Oh
didn't.
no.
No, he is a boarding school white English person. She would not recognise him getting defensive. Yeah, he was giving
but
you
do know
direct
what?
eye
All
contact,
boarding-
try to get you to stop talking. You know that.
I don't care.
I wouldn't.
Oh, so you
boarding
don't care,
school
so that's
wankers.
fine.
Boarding school wankers, though. I mean,
No, they were fine.
But I
At
know
the
what you
end of the
Nice, they
day,
were nice.
no one else
Yeah.
there other than him thought it was an issue. They all thought it was hilarious.
No, I didn't think it was an issue.
thankfully they were
No.
all high, right?
No, yeah, that's the other thing. I was going to say, that's the other thing. It's like, he's not going to call you out because he also doesn't know you.
Yeah.
This is my point. I'm not trying to, like,
Yeah.
demonize you, but I'm just saying you were being fucking rude. You know what I mean?
It's fine.
See,
Like,
at
you
the
didn't-
end of the
you were
day,
fucking being the rude.
at the end of the day, I wasn't trying to be rude. I just simply
No,
didn't
no, of
understand.
course.
Hey, you don't have
James,
to defend.
listen,
Hey, you don't
James
have.
would
You
understand
don't have
me
to
more than
defend
anyone
yourself to
else.
the podcast.
James would
Who wasn't
understand me
there?
any more. Okay, I come up
What?
to you. what up? My name is Slingsby. You're gonna be like, are you fucking serious?
No, he wouldn't say
I would probably say, oh, I'm sorry, I haven't got any cash.
No.
I'm sorry, I've got no money.
That's not a first name. That is not a first name.
If James met someone called Farnsworth Slingsby...
Wait, what?
He would be like, oh, you're one of my kind. Perfect. Great.
Hello.
Like, he wouldn't react like that.
Okay, so no. I had a very, and literally just today, I've had one of those awkward situations where you're trying to be friendly, you're kind of like, you're just trying to, whatever, just be confident. But in this instance, this was my mum. And you wouldn't have to do that. So basically, okay, so on my
you're joining now.
I think you're
joining now.
We're 46 minutes in, at which point my mum will probably not still be listening.
Perfect. So let's go real deep.
And
let's talk about our parent issues.
My mum is lovely. She's the best person ever, and if she is still listening.
Alive and kicking.
I love you.
Yeah, if she hasn't died in the last 30 minutes, she's
I
fine.
fucked up big time earlier today. So on my way to you early this morning, my mum accidentally posted on her story a photo of herself with the kind of... It's one of those like weird little things where it kind of like does stuff to your face and whatever. Like, oh, how old are you?
Yeah,
she accidentally posted that on Instagram.
Yeah.
But I thought it was an app that made you look older.
Okay.
James.
Mm-hmm. You see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, I can see where this is going. Yeah.
And I got back and I was like, oh yeah, like the app that kind of makes you look older. And because my mum is like too nice, she kind of went, what? Yeah. And I'm like, obviously I had to backtrack big time. Because the point is, okay, honestly, hand on heart, Mum, that photo does not look like you. That gave you a ridiculous amount of wrinkles. You do not look like that in real life.
She looks like fucking 30 years old.
Yeah, you're beautiful. You're a beautiful woman, and I'm sorry.
Jane is very sincere right now.
Please.
I don't think my mom knows what face filters are.
Link of this video.
No, well, anyway,
link her in it like
I've got a video of my
minutes.
mum playing around with these face filter things. It's hilarious. She's obsessed with them. But anyway, she accidentally put it up on Instagram and... Yeah, I fucked up.
So, you made fun of your mom being old.
Yeah. And, obviously my mum didn't like that. And I know for a fact she's going to be thinking about that before she gets to bed.
Yeah.
So, I've got to really make extra effort tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
To make her look 25 years old.
Well, just because my sister, thank God, my sister really helped me out today. She kind of like made a few comments. She was like, oh, I don't know, like, she said to my mum, oh, like, there's very few things to moan about you as a person because, you're so, like, whatever. Basically insinuating that she's...
How old are you now? I always forget if you're a year older or younger than me.
No, I'm younger than you.
Yeah, fucking hell. I think everyone's younger than me.
Look at his hair.
Bro. Oh, by the way, the guys in question in the story earlier where Fiona's being rude.
Oh, right, yeah.
Pretend to deny it.
Okay.
One of them was 16. And I
Hold
was
on.
like, and I was looking. No, do you know what's crazy? No, I'm not gonna go back into it. Don't worry about it. Relax yourself. Anyway,
they could still change their name.
Yeah.
We were talking about
he wants to. The guy.
They should.
Yeah, he should.
What was the name again?
The guy who wants to be called Reg, whose name's Charlie.
No,
It's a cute childhood story.
What was the name?
His last name's Slingsby.
Shocky?
It's not fine.
No, but what was before Slings?
Shocky?
No, I was thinking about the other guy.
Get out of the frame. You don't deserve to be being rude.
What was before Slinky?
So anyway, these guys were 16, and I was making a joke about how old I felt. Because, like...
Okay, but...
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Everyone had this reaction that James
I
had
understand.
right now.
I understand. But...
Fiona, you're essentially 12. That's it.
No, I know
You're
that.
very young.
No, I know. But the thing is like, when I'm around people who
feel
are
like
older
Crystalia.
than me...
What? Continue.
When I'm around people who are older than me all the time... I'm never ever used to being the oldest one there.
Sure, but do you feel like you're the older? You
With
feel
them?
like you're younger? That's the thing.
No,
when I was
you might because she's very mature.
Exactly. Because when I was
I
younger,
never feel older.
I was around. This is going back to the whole like you thought I was whatever manager, whatever.
Yeah, very mature.
You genuinely do kind of acclimatize, and you do feel kind of like you're very similar age to these people.
I always felt like I fit in the most with people who were 2 years older than me, but I always got the jokes of like, Fiona's the youngest, Fiona's the baby, Fiona's 12 years old, blah, blah, blah.
Everyone does.
So I've never felt like, oh, I'm older than the people that I'm sitting at dinner with. So I was like, oh my god, you guys are so young. You're 16 years old. And honestly, like, the problems that you deal with when you're 16 versus when I'm almost 21. So when you're 21, you have your own apartment, you have to pay bills, you have to worry about your credit score. Those problems versus when you're in boarding school and your parents are paying for every living thing, your boarding, your tuition, everything. What is happening in your brain is so different than when you're 21.
1 year can make a massive difference.
So I was like, oh my god, you guys are babies, because they were talking about like, oh, when I move out, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Like, I can't wait till when I live on my own because I'm going to have my own kitchen. And I'm like, you guys are so young.
Sure.
But also, to my defense, when I was 17, I had my own apartment.
Yeah, but also in the context of the situation, you're not wrong when you're talking about you to them. However, I was there and I'm 26. So the worst thing for me is I'm looking at someone who I thought was Fiona's age, and I was like, oh, these guys are like 19, 20, because they look young, whatever. He's like, I'm 16, and I was like,
I'm 16. Who are these people?
I'm 10 years older than you, and it was tough because he was a very lovely, intelligent human being, incredibly talented at music. We talked, we conversed. I'm talking like he's a fucking alien. Jesus Christ, he's 16. But like that's how I felt. It's one of those things where you see someone who's 16 for the first time as an adult, who is a comprehensive, intelligent 16-year-old, and you're like, hang on a minute. 16 for some people is actually like, you're talking and acting, he's smoking weed and completely, again, I don't want to even sound like I'm talking about a different being, but like him being 16 didn't mean anything. I thought like I was talking to a peer. I didn't think I was talking to someone who was younger than me, older than me, whatever. I thought my wavelength is the way to say it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
10 years. It's like what I just said. Is that like, for me,
it's only going to get.
If you saw me, if you knew me when I was 16 compared to when I was 18,
what were you doing?
It's two different people.
Let's say where we were. Little Enzo.
16 years old, he was
imagine even
fat, shoulder length hair, fat
virgin.
And shoulder length hair.
Exactly. So
also virgin. The exact argument, which is that like, what is 1 to 2 to 3 years in changing people? Because for me, if you saw me from when I was 16 to 18, you would go, what the fuck? If you saw me from 18 to 21, you'd be like, cool, this person is an alien. He can morph into 3 different human beings.
James, when did you start getting into fashion? So I feel like with both of you, so for me, I like clothes because my mom likes clothes. My mom took a very big interest in the way she looks, and it had a lot to do with the job she was doing. So she had a budget that went with how she presented herself, because when she went into a board meeting with all men, she needed to present herself in a certain way. So I kind of got that from her.
Okay,
but the two of you...
Sorry to quickly interrupt, is that you are talking about like... Because you aren't the same beast as me and James.
No, not at all.
You're not into fashion.
No, not at all.
Because I always talk about this, and I think me and you've talked about this a lot, which is that there is a massive difference between personal style and having style. Because I know people who dress well constantly who don't give a fuck about fashion.
But ultimately it did.
At some period, it's all cyclical.
It came from that.
So for me, it's my personal taste.
You're into looking good and style.
Yeah, my own personal appearance.
Yeah.
But I think it's even more specific and rare for the two of you to be into like fashion and these like very like, some people would say like strange and like off the charts.
Yeah, we care about like material and design and shape and like every factor about the garment. Yeah.
So where would the two of you attribute that kind of like interest?
I know my answer.
Yeah, so I think the difference between you and me was you had already established a serious interest in high fashion before you came to Harrods.
Yes.
So
and London
you had
in
already been following Ander Millamista, Rick Owens, Demir, whereas I came to Harrods very much someone who just loved wearing nice shit.
Yeah.
And was it about how you present yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, tell us where it stemmed from, yeah.
And, I think I was around about 14, 15, and I think, a lot of people can probably, see themselves in this, is that, at that age, you're kind of really trying to define who you are. When you're kind of socializing with your friends, who are you? Who are you? Like, what kind of guy are you? Are you the kind of, are you the lad? Are you the sport lad? Are you the kind of whatever?
Absolutely.
And, I think I was listening to one of your earlier podcasts when you were talking about meeting up with your friends in the park, and it's honestly, I think every guy can get it.
Resonated,
is when you meet up with your mates at a certain age, where you're meeting up with them in the park, you're kind of somewhat independent-ish, you're kind of trying to, look good, whatever.
Yeah.
And that was that kind of like period in my life where I was like 14, 15, where I kind of realized like, who am I as a person? I was really into kind of clothes and
what do you mean by
acting and drama.
What do you mean by into clothes? Was it a certain
just
aesthetic,
how I look,
aesthetic as opposed to fashion? Aesthetic.
I'm not very tall. I kind of wanted to kind of fit in. I wanted to stand out. And how am I going to do that? I suppose I have to take extra care and extra time in how I dress.
Yeah,
do you remember a moment where you're like, I really need to start paying attention to how I dress?
I think there's probably like multiple experiences. I think I was at a party once where a friend of mine and we decided we were going to turn up. It was like some sort of, we had to dress up in a certain theme, and my friend and I turned up in suits. We'd never worn a suit in our lives, but we had a little photo of each other at the end of the evening, and we kind of looked at each other and we were like, fuck, like, wearing suits, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And that's where I suppose my interest in tailoring and fit, grew. And then, when I was completely influenced by the people that I was with. Some people would, every weekend turn up with new shoes or a new top and whatever, and you're kind of like, like, fuck, I want to slice this, and you start pestering your mum to kind of take you to All Saints or whatever.
Can I interrupt you to interject my story, because it's the exact same thing, which is that like it doesn't even matter about the brand or what you were. My thing extended and grew from the same thing, which is that like I remember one Christmas the biggest thing in my school was G-Star jeans, and like I went to the store, I found the best, my favourite pair of G-Star jeans, obviously the only ones not on sale at Christmas time. Enzo, you dickhead, Mum still probably remembers this. And you remember the 69 on the back of the G-Star jeans? This one didn't have stitching, that. It was like the newest ones. It was like 21 or the newest, whatever label it was. Had the newest G-Star jeans on. I still remember the price. I think they were £210. And the price to me was important before I cared about design first, and like, I'd seen celebrities with clothes.
The price was important because you wanted to...
I wanted to impress my mates.
Okay.
And I still remember being not nowhere near the style that I have now, but like for me to have a black watch on, a fucking white t-shirt, but it had the Ralph Lauren pony at the bottom, which Little Wayne was wearing at the time, black jeans, black Converse.
Oh my god!
Like I'd be like, holy shit, I'm like fucking sick today. Like if the girl that I have a crush on in secondary school doesn't fucking bang me right here on the school field, I've failed. Like it all stems from that.
Remember,
and then what you do is from that naturally. And I think this is most guys, even girls who are into fashion. I think it stems from something like exactly what you've described, what I've described, and then it goes deeper into fashion. And like before I met James, before I moved to London, I was working part-time, and what I would do is when I collected enough money in 1 month where I make good money, I'd buy sale something of a very good brand that I was into. So, for example, like I'd buy.
But was there anyone in your social group that you kind of
No.
picked off a bit?
No.
See, that's what I find.
No
quite
one in my
phenomenal.
social
And I
group.
suppose.
No. See, the thing is that like it's one of those things where I think if you want to fit in, you hone in on something, and then you go way past what it actually is. So, to answer your question, is that, for example, who used to be a good friend of mine in school, his name was Jack. His mum was the guy who always bought beers for everyone. And she didn't really care when everyone was 16. She's like, he'd always have parties at his house in the way of like, I can control these parties. I'm there, it's fine. I want him to be young. More liberal.
I find that
I've got a friend like that. I
find that so bizarre for parents to like buy alcohol for everyone.
No, because the thing is, honestly...
Because, wait, when I was underage, like, I would have the parties at my house because my parents were like, we can control you guys, but they would never, ever, ever supply us alcohol. And my parents knew I had a fake ID, and they would rather me go out, risk my life... to get a little wine bag.
The other thing is, okay, what happens in England is we're pretty brave, and this is exactly what he got in trouble for at school.
I went into liquor stores, 15 years old. I didn't even drive, and I had a fake driver's license. And I'm like,
I'll
take that vodka.
That's confident, and I get it. But at the same time, okay, so let me explain. My friend Jack, back at school, he would wait outside Tesco's and approach people randomly to say, hey, here's £20, can you get me a crate? Or 2 crates or whatever.
Did his parents know?
No, that was when we used to drink on a school field and shit.
I can't imagine
stuff.
like what the landscape is like in Derby. So I think perhaps one day you and I we're gonna have to go up there.
No, you should please
share a bed.
A very single small bed.
No, there's bedrooms. You should come with us.
You should come.
Yeah, but
his parents.
I've got to really feel what it's like to be Enzo and really be
get inside of me.
No, but on like a real note, his parents do the best barbecue.
Oh, for real, you can come around next time.
Oh, I've known that for like 5 years, and I'm still pissed that Enzo's never invited me to a barbecue.
We're going soon.
I'm
Christmas
inviting
Day.
you.
No, Christmas Day.
Yeah, exactly.
Christmas Day.
We do a barbecue.
There is no way I'm spending time with my family. I'm going to Derby.
Do your parents not barbecue in your guys' garden?
I'm the barbecuer.
I'm
the guy who barbecues.
Can we come over and barbecue in your garden?
Oh my god, please.
Yes.
No, because you could teach me like a load of shit. Because I'm very good in the kitchen, but I'm not very good in the garden.
If you can marinate, then you're a barbecue expert.
I'm good in the kitchen. Yeah. He's good at barbecuing. But in your garden, we should do a whole like barbecue.
So yesterday, we put up the pizza.
You have a pizza oven? Is that what you're about to say?
So we got the kind of uni thing. You know, the uni kind of pizza.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Outdoor barbecue.
Nope.
The uni.
This is for rich people, right?
No, it's like 300 quid.
It's
but
like
I mean, that's a price
What's
for
Uni?
barbecues. Uni is a brand, like a Scandinavian brand, and they make pizza, like outdoor pizza, little ovens.
Okay.
And you depending on which one you get, you can get the gas one, or you can get the one that you put charcoal in and whatever.
Cool.
And so we got the charcoal one, and we started it yesterday.
Yeah.
And we wanted to make pizzas, but of course, you can cook whatever you want in there, but it's primarily used to make pizzas. And we fucked up. We fucked up big time.
Why?
Because we wanted to make pizzas, and the dough wasn't sort of caked enough underneath with flour, which meant that we couldn't put it onto the kind of
into the oven,
and then into the oven, which is frustrating because we'd obviously spent a long time really putting in effort into the dough, but whatever. So we got that yesterday, and I mean, I think we're pleased that we've actually got it. It's there, great, but we've really got to make an effort and really figure out how we're going to kind of perfect the dough and put it on whatever.
Invite him. Then
please.
We invite Seb.
Yeah.
Seb will make all of the dough.
Really?
Yeah, Seb knows how to make everything Italian.
Really?
But
Seb can make an
Are you
entire
sure?
pizza.
Oh,
Are you
be
sure?
fucking serious. Wait, hang
Seb
on.
Because
can.
I would-
Seb can,
I would
for
hope-
But
Sure.
Seb can also exaggerate. Like
I would hope he can. But ultimately, I need reassurance because this is my dinner.
No, also no, not even that.
Seb just
Let's be
messaged
real.
you.
Let's be real. Seb exaggerates massively. Seb exaggerates. We know
But-
this.
But if
Because
you
he's
can,
Italian.
fantastic.
So,
If you
okay,
can, it's
let me
amazing.
tell you a funny story.
By the way, I'm getting a pizza later. Just saying.
From
Because
Domino's.
I haven't had any dinner.
Yeah, we need to order some like wings from Nando's.
So-
or something.
I made a pizza last night,
Okay.
and it tastes like cardboard.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It was
Okay.
like well, it was great actually.
I had
So-
raw dough
It
last
was,
night.
it was biscuit pizza. Yeah.
It was truly one of the worst pizzas I've ever had. And I have spent so much time during this quarantine, like, making things. And I really think that when it comes to, like, baking, you really need a scale.
Yep.
You really have to, like, measure out every single
Yeah.
little
It's
gram. Because
fine margins.
I was doing,
Yeah.
like, you know, the, like...
Yeah.
It's a science for sure.
Yeah.
So, I bought a scale now
Good.
after our cardboard pizza, and I spent about half an hour making this pizza, and I've never been so upset in my lifetime because
Oh, I know. It's a very emotional
What did
experience.
you
If
forget?
If
I
you-
forgot baking powder. So,
I mean, in baking a pizza, you forgot the
if you took one of our
baking
million
powder.
boxes by the door and you cut it in half and put some pizza sauce and some mozzarella cheese on it, it would probably taste like what I made yesterday. So I was very upset by it. And what I'm
I was
saying is,
really upset
I can
yesterday.
provide.
Like, I had a real hissy fit with my sister.
Why?
I was in such
You
a
two are
foul
so
mood.
fucking emotional.
I was
What I'm saying is,
I
I
got
can provide
so
something
angry with my
better.
sister. Yeah, no, for sure.
Once my
100%.
scale comes, it's game over. For
Exactly.
everyone.
No, but this is the thing. This is the thing because I think food is very personal and it's also emotional. And ultimately, if you've sabotaged and destroyed your meal at the end of the day,
Yeah,
of course you're going to be upset.
of course.
You know, look, okay,
Wait, what
Maybe
we-
you've
what
missed
were we
a step,
talking about-
whatever.
What were we talking about before this pizza tangent? I like this because this show and podcast has already lost. That's what I. That's what I wanted.
This is the point.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I really like, and I want to
Tangents.
just make a point: is that like tangents are the best thing.
Yes.
Continue, pizza.
Yes. Yeah, but I think for other people who are listening, for people who just want to kill some time, or for people who genuinely think, Enzo or James, whatever.
Enzo's maybe the best person that's ever existed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are dweebs,
Yeah.
and we are like you,
We are small virgin men.
but we're still your prophet.
Yeah, but also worship us. Yeah.
Thank you. So anyway, let's go back to fashion
Yeah.
because that's what these thirsty motherfuckers are here for.
I've forgotten what it was from. I've forgotten what we're talking about from this tangent.
But how our kind of interest in dressing good, whatever, kind of grew.
oh fuck yeah! So I was saying about mine stemmed from like I wanted people in my circle and group to compliment me.
Yeah,
and-
no, exactly, yeah, 100%.
So for example, like
Plain and
all my
simple,
gifts and birthdays.
as superficial as it sounds, it's completely down to that, and I'm sure
Yeah.
everyone else can resonate with that.
Yeah, my like one of my most memorable times about buying some cool clothes was one of the first times I visited London. I thought I was the coolest person ever. The Ralph Lauren store we were meant to go to, and it was closed. And I had a Ralph Lauren polo and cardigan on, and I was like, "Holy fuck! Like, I am the shit." Yeah, like fuck, and it just all stemmed from that.
Yeah.
And it's just like anything in life. I think it's a bit of luck, it's a bit of nature, it's a bit of nurture. I think it's your environment, your family, and whatever. And like, I think that my fashion really comes from my brother is a bit nerdier. So we had the games, and that wasn't even him. It was kind of him, but also influenced by like family, friends, and people we live on the street with, and the games that we played back home. So we were on the computer all the time, and then I had my friends who I wanted to impress. So that amalgamation of all these things that are happening is that I had me wanting to impress my friends with clothes, constantly researching clothes and looking at what the coolest things they were and looking into them. You tie that with the internet, and then you end up exploring the world of fashion.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy I have those sides. Like, I play a lot of video games, and yes, definitely too much video games, but at the same time, constantly, especially now I have 2 monitors, which most people who have like video game interests will be like, Enzo, you've only just got 2 monitors. You're a fucking noob. I'm never gonna do anything with you. Is everything alongside playing video games that I've always been researching. I'm on the internet constantly looking at stuff I've never heard of, never seen, brands, the newest, whatever, and that's how I started. Those essentially those 2 worlds colliding.
Yeah,
there's too much space between us. Okay, so what would the 2 of you say to someone, or even yourself, who was just starting to break into the world of like high-end fashion and kind of like learning about designers and kind of learning about that whole world,
and they want to go into the fashion world?
Yeah.
I have this rule, and it does apply to personal experience, but also from a lot of people I've ever met, and I think you'll agree with this, which is that, and I think I've told you this many times, which is that in the fashion world, I have a statement, I say this all the time, unless you want to be a designer, then where you go to school, there is a still archaic element in the type of school or the name of the school that you go to will affect your future if you're a designer. But I think if you want to join any element of fashion, personally, after experiencing uni, and I didn't have a bad experience with uni, I loved uni, I was with my friends, I learned a lot, but I would say fuck uni if you want to go into fashion. Work immediately. Yeah. Start earning some money, save, work on the shop floor, and build your connections through a brand or a department store. It doesn't matter, like wherever you love.
How?
Apply your ass off. Like before I don't know if even you know this. Before I was when I was in Derby and I used to work, my first ever job. Lots of things happened to me, losing virginity, and my first job was when I was 18. And my first girlfriend, 18, all in the same time.
Not as great as me, but let's move on.
Alright, fucking hell, yeah. My first job was with All Saints, which is a brand I was fucking obsessed with. And I applied...
If you just look at his old photos, he looks like an All Saints guy.
I think if I was...
But do they have All Saints in America?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
I'm sure they do. But did they have it at the beginning?
It's not. No. They didn't have it at the beginning, and it's not as in.
Because at the beginning,
the thirst for it, it wasn't insatiable as people are.
You literally felt like you were just touching.
If you had All Saints clothes, you were like a god in England when it first came out. Like, yeah.
It was all about who was showing the most chest.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who had the most distressed belt?
About how you got into All Saints.
But I think in my life, before I got my first job, I handed out probably 15 CVs, and
I applied for
12 of those CVs were to All Saints. Wow. I think 12 times I put CVs into All Saints.
He went in there about every month.
And when I got the job, it's an amazing story. Yeah, because I was persistent. And
persistence is so important.
Persistence is so important, but also a little bit rapey if you're doing it the wrong way.
But the thing is, but wait, hold on. All you need is one yes.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
it.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, I would always, every time... So, the thing to do in Derby when I was with my friends is you meet with a group of friends and you would go to town. It's like going to town. And you need to stop fucking touching me up. There's a camera on,
I feel like your body language is that you hate me.
No, is that there's a microphone here.
I haven't been touched in
you're an actual disgrace. And
months.
You are the neediest person ever. And James watching this is killing him in his side. So if he goes home and jumps off his first story balcony and doesn't injure himself, but he tries to, it's going to be a disgrace and it's going to be all your fault.
Okay.
If anyone wants to touch me, that's okay.
Yeah, if you're for a lonely single.
He's on Tinder and Bumble and all that.
Yeah, give your plugs for Tinder and Bumble. You're not allowed to give it IG. You can shout yourself out, but only Tinder on it.
Hold on. Wait. Instagram? James. You did not accept my follow for like 2 years.
In my defense, and
doesn't.
Enzo will understand just how significant this is, and Matt will vouch for me. I hadn't accepted Nick Wooster's follow.
I don't know who that is.
For the same amount of time.
Fuck off.
As Fiona.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You are nothing. You are a piece of trash. Don't worry about it.
So,
anyway.
For the listeners, hold on. Me and Vincenzo have been dating almost
3 years.
3 years. And right when we started dating, like, his friend group got involved with our relationship. And when
That's
I mean,
not true, but carry on.
Seb was literally messaging me.
Oh no, but that's Seb.
Yeah.
Seb is
like no. The way you said involved means negative. They got involved in a very positive way.
No, in a good way.
Okay, so say that.
And so was my friend group. Like,
damn,
was
Nick
involved.
Wooster still follows me.
Fuck you.
So I requested.
He wants the
Who
dick.
is this?
Yeah.
Who is this?
I don't mind.
Hey, don't worry about it.
So, James,
My
I
God.
tried to follow your Instagram,
Yeah.
like, right when me and Enzo started, like, fully seeing each other. Because, like, I was speaking to Seb, like, pretty much on the daily at that point. Because we're talking about me and him, because we're doing long distance, blah, blah,
that was the time when me and Seb were in Harrods together. And we were all very close.
Yeah. So, whenever I would be in London...
Not that we're not close now, by the way.
Yeah.
But just that the contact between me, you, and Seb, like,
the
days when I was in person, we were all,
So, when I would be in London, we'd go to Harrods and we'd specifically, like, go see Seb in the Prada salon and just, like, fuck around with him. There's another girl there named Fiona, slightly defensive, but it's fine. So...
She had bad breath.
I tried to follow you, and I swear it took about 2 years to get that...
No, not 2 years. Not 2 years.
Acceptance.
I think everyone else as well who's watching would also vouch for the fact that I've been off grid.
No. Okay, hang on. No, don't get too deep into what we know.
I remember hashtag where's James when we first started
listen.
dating.
Listen. When you get into a long distance relationship in the beginning, I think this is credit to you, any good friend will be very wary of someone who is in a long distance relationship because 9 times out of 10 they don't work out.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I had a bad experience the first time round.
Did you?
Well, with...
Okay. I think we've done enough talking. I don't want to babble too much shit. It's been a bit longer than normal, but gratefully, James, I love you. Thanks for coming. Fiona, thanks for fucking butting in, even though you don't ever want to be on the camera and now suddenly you've joined in because you feel the need to defend yourself. It's fine. And
all I want to say is that I'm not a rude person.
You are a rude person.
Slinky, whatever your name is.
Yeah, great. You were already offending him again. And everyone, we love you. And
give me love.
Yeah, fuck off. We're done
And you
now.
guys are gonna have a YouTube video.
Yes, and we're filming a YouTube video on the weekend whenever you can come around.
And also, I think the follow up to this podcast is that you guys should have a sneaky little part 2.
Yes.
About whatever is not addressed in this, because I feel like there's so many questions about
that. If anyone has any questions for me and James about fashion and like retail and
the details of how we lost our virginity.
Yeah, exactly. The real stuff. All right. Shut your mouth. Love you. Shut your mouth, but also I love you. And love you guys as well. Let's drink some more wine. And everyone else, you better been drinking wine through all this and fuck off a little bit. But we also love you. So, cool. Yes. Words, stuff.
I love you.